I'm wearing this costume so you can see how each joint has to move, get into position, give you the maximum amount of distance and least amount of effort. We're working with 6 pairs of joints, 2 ankles, 2 knees, 2 hips, 2 shoulders, 2 elbows, and 2 wrists. They have to work according to their design. Well, what controls the altitude of your eye level is the knees. You have 3 planes of motion that control the club, plane, and arc. The first plane is like a line bisecting a flight line. I'm going to extend one knee, flex the other. My weight goes from a solid balance over the arches, basically to the right heel, and a little bit to the ball of this left. So we have a perpendicular plane with knees. The knees can only flex and extend, bend and straighten out. And you can roll the ankle inward or roll it outward. Now this is called inversion, this is called eversion. This is called extension, this is called flexion. This is called flexion, this is extension. Now, the other plane is a lateral flexion of the spine, which causes a tilt of the hips. You don't spin on an invisible axis by rotating your hips, by extending one knee, flexing one, letting the spine do a lateral flexion from the bottom, maintaining a central center for the golf swing circle, which is the base of the neck and top of the rib cage. You can make the third motion. Third motion is a plane from the ball up to the base of the neck, and the shoulders are working this plane. And most everyone comes back that way. A plane is like the shoulders and hips are like that connected to a spine representing a train wheel. There's no bearings between them. For you to stand here and just turn the shoulders, you're going to bend the axle. But if you let the hips and shoulders turn, you can shift your weight and get a tremendous separation without losing your central position of your swing circle center, which is right here. Now, there's people that advocate this. Man, if you advocate that, you've got a banana figure 8 like that hitting the ball, trying to establish a plane. The more accurate you can contain this plane, the more accurately you're going to hit the ball. Using these 3 planes, like flexion and extension, it's like you're marking time. It's like a woman walks. Man walks on 2 planes. He walks this way. A woman walks that way. She's on balance. She's on balance. She lives 7 years longer just for that little thing right there. 7 years right there. That's where you walk. When you reach the top of the backswing, this torso has got to be hung on this bone right here. You have a little hole in this pelvis called the acetabulum. You have this bone right here, fits right into it. When you get here, you got to be anchored right here. Now my hip, when I make the initial move, goes a little bit past my ankle. But now I'm going to do an anterior, which is a forward rotation with the left side, so that I can get my left side between the ball and the spine. I'm standing there with my chest between the spine and the ball. I'm doing this. So what's happening? I'm not going to take the right hip. 99% playing golf does this, and you come here like this, and they wind up on their right foot. If you, for a pitcher, you stand on your right leg, and you turn your left side, you step to the left leg, turn your right side. This is what you do in golf. It's like you got a hole there, you pull a pull up in it, put 2 hinges on it, put a door in it. Put it like this, and slam the door. It's got some power in that. You hit some person like this, you're not getting any power because your back step is neutralizing your forward swing of your arm. You take this, starting now, from the angle of address. Most people, all books tell you it's basically the weight. If you do that, you're going to wind up with arthritis because it's going to turn the edges of the spine, the vertebrae, into each other, and they're going to rub there and cause a calcification there, because they're going to rub the edges off, and you get arthritis of the spine. But if you incline from this forward socket joint of this hip, right here, maintain the normal contour of the spine, there's no collapsing of the vertebrae and the rubbing of the inner edges of the vertebral disc, like that. How far do you bend when you incline from the ball and socket joints of the hip? First, I'm going to separate my toes about wide my shoulders. My heels a little bit closer to each other than my toes. Well, that's basically the way my feet said if I'm going to just lay them on the ground. Am I going to put them this way? Am I going to put them that way? There, this is natural. Now I'm going to bend from the ball and socket joints of the hips. And when I bend from the solid socket of the hips, let me try and put that ball about 30 degrees. I want to knock through between the end of my hands, the bottom of my torso, so this leg can get in between this leg and the golf club and arms. You don't hit it off the front, you hit it off the side. When you hit the ball, your chest is facing the ball. Your right shoulder is lower than your left shoulder. Your weight is balanced on your left leg. Now this right side will turn on in here. So when you finish up, just before you come out of the angle of that vest, the right side is between the spine and the ball. This is as long as you can stay in the angle of that vest. At this point here, my spine will straighten up, and my back will arch in towards my belly button, and I'll finish up here like a rooster crowing, you know? You balance on that left leg. Am I going to step back? I'm going to do just like we have coordinated. This leg and this arm are working together. You've never seen anyone left, right walk unless it's Kosomoto. So it's left and right, right and left. That's where you put balance. Left and right, right and left. Not left, right, left, right. It looks like an idiot of some animal trying to walk. You're a human being, you learn how to walk on a line instead of like that. When you learn how to control knees and ankles, hips and spine, shoulders, you've got the pivot. That's called the pivot. Now, what's left? When you want to take your grip, I think he showed you the grip. These three fingers are underneath those 5 lengths, the second 5 lengths of that hand underneath, the thumb and heel of the hands on top. These first 5 lengths of the index fingers in front. The ring finger of the right hand is up against the index of the left. The bulbous end of this right thumb is resting in this segment called the 5 lengths, first and second 5 lengths of your thumb like this. These 2 5 lengths right here are not cupped under, they're behind it. The butt rests against the back. This heel is pushed down into this curve here, and these fingers are gripping against each other. This 5 length against that 5 length. That's where you grip the club. You learn the grip. Learn how to stand over. How far do you stand? Now I'm standing erect. I lean until my hand hangs from my shoulders over the tips of my toes, and then I have working room. You see so many people come here and they take the club, put the shaft on the ground instead of the sole on the ground. You measure, after you took this club, you measure it out. It's like a compass. Compass is an instrument you draw a circle with. I'm going to put this club out here. I'm going to adjust myself from the base of my abdomen so I have working room to get in and hit the ball, get the inertia of the body working while I amplify my hand to get the shot. When I make this measurement, now I'm opening this compass. This is 1 point, that's the other. That must be contained on this face of this major triangle from here up to here, from here to here, from here to here. Now, if I take the thing and come in here like this, I'm coming to this point. You must contain it. So my arms don't make an inward movement. They respond to the action of the shoulders. Go back to that. How far can you take your hands back together without them separating? I'll show you. As soon as you pass that right foot, if you don't bend your right elbow, your head moves. And this idea of trying to keep it low, there's no lines in a golf. They're all planes, arcs, circles. The only line you're going to get out of it is the tangent off the swing circle perpendicular to this position of that blade. That's the line, the direction. We're doing now. I'm going to take my grip. Here's a good one for a lady. Just take your arm and put it across the top of your navel. Don't put your hand above your rib cage there. Stick it like that. Horizontal and parallel to the ground, like that. Horizontal to the ground, parallel to the ground. Parallel, this is horizontal, okay? Now, bend from the hips. They say, the first they come down here and they bend like this, then they'll sit down. Now, you change the angle of address as soon as you do this. So all you're doing is losing this much altitude in your power force, power change. You want to keep your eye. I try to never let my spine get any lower than this address position, and it's the same height right now as it be here. I'm not going to bend one knee. I mean two knees. I'm going to bend one knee. Now here's how you put the right hand on the club. After you make the measurement of the base of this triangle here, distance from the ball to the left shoulder, distance from the top of the club to this tubeless bone right here, you got your basic measurements is your geometrical measurement to hit this ball. Now you have to draw a line from your target to the ball, continue back a few yards. That's called the flight line. The line including your feet is called the center line. The line from heel to the flight line is called the rear line. The line from the heel to the flight line out here is called the front line. When you hit the ball, all your weight's got to be on the front line. When I make contact with the ball, my left hip is about 6 inches past my left ankle, because I want to stay the balance here so I can pirouette into the pool. Now, if it's laying this way, you ever see a door put on a slanted pole? It never would close or open. It'll only close when it sits that way. Pirouette, the ballerina does that. I can't do it with this thing like this, but they do. They come over, they do an elevation, and then they do a torque. You see, I can't do it with these spikes, you see. So I'm coming here like this, and I'm torquing the right side in here. If I'm going to hit somebody, I'm not going to hit them this way. I'm going to let the knee, hip, shoulder go. Like that. That's it. And knock anybody in the world out if I hit them like that. I don't man in the world hit them like this. I can break a bone with this. Break the jaw just with that. You see that, Mondo? Mike, the lightweight champions here. Careful. Say one thing, I had 15 heavyweight fights, and I knocked everybody out. 15 heavyweight fights. Never lost. Now watch how you make the measurement to put your right hand on this ball. A lot of people stand here like this. Now they're going to get the right hand below, they're going to pick it up, now they're going to sit down. They look like a bullfrog trying to jump. Okay? Watch this. I've got this measurement here. If I stand here, square ankle, square knees, square hips, square shoulder, I got square hands. But that hand's got to go below that other hand. Get that hand below that, watch what I do. I do a lateral flexion of the spine. Flexing the right knee, lets the right hip drop and right shoulder drop. My right hand is in proper position. I got a measurement. You can hit it with this hand and hit it with that hand. Give me a T. I give my last T. This uniform I have is next year it'll be 28 years old. I had this on KHJ. Watch this. One, here. Now I'm going to hit this ball with this club. Now, let me show you something about what the hands do. I'll hit it with the left hand in a moment. This right hand, to take the club away from the ball, does two initiating movements. I do a slight pronation and call a hop extension of this hand and a flexion of this, and it puts the club face on the proper plane. Watch this. If I'm going to throw a ball, I'm going to do that to throw a ball. I'm not going to do that. Everybody that starts golf does this. The club goes down, and your head comes back, and you do this to get back to the ball. The name of the game is keeping the club and shaft and arm on the plane. I'm going to cut a line right from my elbow right across here. Watch it. The left is here. Right is here. Watch what I do. That, right here, this elbow has to bend. That's like a karate. It's this. You're not going to take this thing and get it posterior to yourself. You got to keep it anterior in front of you. The ball is in front of you. It's not behind, so you don't want your elbows behind you. See? So my right hand does this, that, this, and finishes by giving you that position right there. As you come down, don't try to move your arms. Control the elbow. I start the downswing by a slight supination to keep from losing the plane. If I go this way, I'm off the plane. But if I come up here like this and come this way, I'm still on the plane. But 99% of the people come that way, and the club comes this way, and you make that outside-in swing. but to keep this club on this plane is that. Your left arm is here. It works from the body forces. I never swing my arms. My arms are moving because my body is turning. If you stand here and you try to move the arms, you can move them fast, but it don't do you any good. There's no energy in here. You have to let the arms speed be the same as your shift in torso rotation. The amplifying of that force is done with that and that. That creates a semicircle. A golf swing constitutes a major circle, a semicircle within that. Timing is timing this pendulum semicircle where it catches up with your left shoulder, the left arm ball line. Now if it's here like that, that blade is open, you're going over there. You come in here and do like this, you're going over there. So it's a matter of timing the semicircle. The semicircle. Here's a semicircle. It's amazing what you can do with just a little action of the hands right here. You take it back like this, and watch it. Just, it'll go over. 40 yards right there. All I did was just waggle the hands. I'm not going to do this and this. Now, when you add the body, it's this and that, but not that. My shoulders are turning on this plane. Everybody turns on this plane, they lose a hip. You lost your hip position. You take this thing like this. I'm standing on this leg. My left side is turning. So my left side now is in between the spine and the ball. Started out chest between spine and ball. Left side in between chest and the ball. Spine. Right side in here. You have to stay in the angle of address until the right arm gets horizontal, the right shoulder catches up with the chin, the spine then straightens up. You finish this way. Now, action in the left arm. I hope I don't split these things up. Now, as I said, if I stood here like this and turned my body 9 degrees, what happened to the arms? I'm nothing. The arms that stay in relation to the way I had them here. Right in the center of my body. It's still in the center of my body. Still in the center of the body. Turn this way. I flex my right elbow, bend my hands 90 degrees. This glove has 180 degrees to go, while this has a 90. So this glove must go twice as fast as this arm, and everybody trying to pull it. You pull it through that left arm, you couldn't hit a bull in the back end with a bass fiddle. Now, I'm going to swing this club, but my body's going to swing my arm. Watch this. One, my body. I'm doing like a differential in the car. I'm turning this radius and all around that point here of the elbow. Now, the elbow has 2 functions. It can flex and extend. Flex and extend. Pronate, supinate. The hand can extend, flex, extend, hyperextend. Ulnar deviation, radial flexion. That's all the hand can do. This is done by forearm motion. This controls the blade when you're coming back to that ball. I'm going to stand here like this. I set my ankle between my left ankle and there. I come here like this. Instead of trying to pull it with the left arm and leave the body here, I want this poke on this hub when I hit the ball. And I want this semicircle to swing. I had this arm crushed in an airplane crash in 1943 in Africa. And I lost locomotion of that arm for 7 years. So I won't hit it as far left-handed as I do right. Okay? I go forward, Chris. But let me show you something. My left arm didn't swing. It started off here and it finished here. I moved this semicircle with the supination of the forearms. That's this right here. And ulnar deviation. Then this is pronating. Then it goes into a flexion of the wrist and it comes back to you after this elbow bends. So it's doing this, coming back. Take this back right here. This is this. It's turning like this. Now my hand is on the proper plane. What's going to be on here? Now this is a 1 iron. I'm using those 3 planes. Zip, zap. flip, flop, zing, zang, okay? 3 planes. This is going to control this plane right here. I'm blending those 3 planes into one. If you've ever heard a greater lesson than this, will you raise your hands? Well, you don't lecture in 23 countries, do all the analysis for the martial arts for the Japanese government, unless you know what the hell you're talking about. Go to lectures for the medical associations and lecture to 23 countries, to schools, colleges. So you can't stand up there and make a fool of yourself because they're going to contest you. Okay? I was back in Washington, D.C., and I'm the guest speaker for the week. The thing was running a little late, so they asked me to stay another day, and they had to come up with a little extra money. Then I'm the last on the agenda. I did a 2-hour lecture. Then I asked if there's any questions. I says, if you have, come up to the restroom here and take care of this mic. State your question. I wrote it on the board, chalkboard, and chalk. I put the answer here. And 6 of them came up out of 3,000. Then I asked them to remove their shirts. What the hell do we want to do that? I said, I'm going to prove to you that that's wrong and this is right. How are you going to do it? I said, face the curtain, I have an electromyograph. I hooked them up to the electromyograph. It showed them step by step exactly what the golf swing does. I said, would you read it? It gives a readout, you see. Then the chairman got up and he says, well, he says, I'm sorry to me, Mr. Austin. He says, for these comrades of mine trying to make a fool out of you, I said, I'm glad it just reversed on them. And he says, if you people in the audience agree with me, would you please stand? The whole damn 3,000 stood. That made me feel rather good, you know. So, I mean, it sounds like a cocky statement. But I've been doing this for 40-some odd years. I came out to California, and I was a foreigner speaking a language that no one understood. But all those guys are picking up daisies somewhere or not playing golf. I'm still winning.
Hey, Mike, talk about Oculant for a minute.
What?
Talk about Oculant.
Oh, no, not right now. I got to get this, you know. I mean, they want to go to dinner sometime today. Now, watch this in slow motion. I'm going to connect the 2 actions here. Now, most everybody starts this way. I'm doing it just reverse. I press into a slight supinated position and flexed here. I'm doing a pronated and hyperextension here. And I come back by pressing the knee and stepping back on the right heel. And everything works with that. I stick it right into the slot, bisect from my shoulder, right between my ear and this right shoulder. That gives me the plane. Watch this in slow motion. 1, there. You take a club and put it on that ball and put it on here, you won't see this plane of mine. Like, do that. You're going to see it contained almost like a mechanical machine. Because I studied the motion of this thing and have got the most out of it. 3 years ago, I was in Japan. I'm with a 350 club. In 8 tournaments there, I averaged 308 yards for it. Of course, then I was 74.
Young guy.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm looking for supple quickness, not slowness. This thing is like a differential in the car. You lock that, you can't do it. Doodly all. Now, this is a one I think. Yes. I'm measuring the distance from my left shoulder forward, setting my feet, trying to line up where if I took this thing like this, that's where I'm going to. Not here, not there. My shoulders are lined up parallel, but my right shoulder is lower because my right hand and right hip are lower. So my right hand is lower. But my shoulders are facing that ball. Center of my chest facing that ball. My chest is right in between my spine. I'm not here. I'm not here. That'd be in a spot there, and that'd be in a spot over there. I want facing the ball. Understand? I'm going to take this club back. Slow motion. Now, that blade looks like it's kind of close here, but watch what happens when I bend my right elbow. Now, that club is coming onto the plane. Now, this is the plane. Right there. Stays on that plane. As I come down, my spine is going to do a lateral flexion. This hip is going to drop down, this hip is going to drop up. Now I've got balance on that left leg, so I can pirouette into that ball. I'm not going to stand here and pull that hip back like this and hit on the ground like that, you see.
He winced.
Slow motion now, watch this. Now my angle of address is contained as long as I can contain it. Now I'm here. I'm in balance on my left leg. Small of my back is arched up against my belly button. I'm swinging up, so my belly button faces into the fairway. Everybody say, delay the uncock of the hand. You delay the uncock of the hands, it's like you taking a car 60 miles an hour, go to the stoplight and put on your brakes. You go 333 feet before you stop. You cannot come to here and hit it. It'll knock you right back. You see this? Oh, this is only reacting. My hands are reacting from a stimulus here. As I come down, if I'm going to hit a nail, 20-penny nail, I'm going to come in like this. I'm not going to hit it like this. I'm going to hit it from the elbow to the hand, like that. Because my cock starts here to there. I'm not going to hit a nail this way. You'd never get to it. So it takes a hell of a lot of time for this club head to catch up with this left arm. Look here. There. What you're seeing down here, people take pictures and it look like your hands are like this. It's taking this time because of the movement of your weight off your right hip to your left hip to get in position to make this thing catch up. But I'm starting that club head right here. Just like that. If you started down here, it'll knock you right back there. Okay?
We went to Africa.
I'm standing on the balance on my left leg.
Wow, it's further. These guys better watch out.
Si, senor. Let me show you something about this impact position. It's here. Now, if this progresses here, this retrogresses, so they both come to a mean line right here. When I finish, I'm here. Hit the ball, I'm here. Now watch what happens now. My left hip is past the ball, past my left foot, and as my right hip turns in here, the left hip comes back to the what you call the front line. You got balance, control, and you got distance. That dog will hunt right there.
That's it?
That always true that the club doesn't work and it doesn't matter how much power you
Does a car drive you? Does a body just leave the engine dead? The energy in here, the electricity in here, and the acetylcholine in the muscles do it. And you got to have enough sleep so that the battery charges. That's the electricity they use up during the day. Yeah, acetylcholine, as you breathe and as you eat, restores itself. But you better have some energy in that mind if you're going to have some energy in that ball. You transmit out of this head into that head. Okay?
Jiminy. We'll be on the freeway.
What's an off that you can left?
8.5 or 8 3/4. That one hit you there. I think I've gained a little bit of weight since I had this suit made. We've been tight.
Touch it.